Jakkboy Maine was going off. I'm guessing it was like Instagram live or something, or I don't know. He was doing some live stream thing. It's on YouTube, and he was pretty much airing out John, the Don, and Bullpen Battle League for having contracts that Jakkboy obviously doesn't agree with. For me, I decided that I wanted to chop it up about this topic. Specifically Jakkboy versus Bullpen and John. One thing about the contract, and the main thing that Jakkboy was pissed about, was that John and Bullpen was saying that, you know, if you sign this, we're pretty much going to be taking 20% of everything that you do. Now, Jakkboy thought that that was like ridiculous. He's like, yo, we're the battlers, like, we're the ones putting in the work. There's no way that, you know, I'm going to do something completely unrelated to Bullpen in the future, whether I'm hosting an event, whether I'm, you know, getting money for some CD I dropped, or whatever the case, a feature, or I'm battling on another league that has nothing to do with your league. There's no way you should get, you know, 20%. And I think John, what it said was like the minimum wage a person can get booked for is $12.50, so the Bullpen gets $2.50. I hear Jakkboy's gripe, you know what I'm saying, for not wanting to cough up a percentage of his purse. But something that was interesting to me is the fact that Sue Surf actually told me back when I did interviews for URL for Gnome 5 to promote the battles, and I interviewed Surf, and I think it was off camera behind the scenes. He was talking about, yo, he's called Smack Uncle Smack. He was like, yo, like, Uncle Smack should have been, you know, had us sign a contract back when we were first coming up on Smack, and treat Smack URL like an official, like, underground record label rather than just a battle rap league. According to Surf, what he said, he was saying how, you know, they should put a percentage, you know, on anything that we do. So let's say, because Surf always gives Smack props for being the dude that really brought him and a lot of people up, you know, regardless if they have talent and stuff like that. He always acknowledged the fact that Smack gave them the platform to shine and to grow, to get their name out there, to make future money on Smack and outside of Smack as well, based off of the profile they built. So Surf was saying that, like, yo, Smack should have just said, yo, from here on, any battle you do, anything you do with this, and this, we should get a percentage of it, you know, whether it be 20%, whether it be 5%, 10%, whatever. He was like, Smack should have put a lockdown on anything that any battle rapper did outside of Smack URL. That way it could obviously build further revenue. And he was just thinking about it in terms of just building Smack as a brand. He was like, Smack would have so much more funding nowadays to do so many more things, and maybe with that funding, Smack URL could have blown up to become a bigger entity than it already is, and maybe be a better platform for its battle rappers, you know, be a platform that people, now they're actually doing it now, you know, they do their own interviews instead of trying to go to all these different media outlets to get interviews done, post their own battle rappers videos and stuff like that on their platform, stuff like that. Like, Surf was actually really with the idea that John pretty much has put forth for what it seems like his Bullpen battlers. So I just thought that was interesting that Jakkboy had such an issue with it, but then here's Sue Surf, one of the true vets of the sport, actually vouched for Smack to do from the genesis of Smack DVD to Smack URL, you know. That was just kind of interesting to me. One thing with the 20%, I feel as though, I mean, well, also off the rip, you know, in terms of just using that platform, Bullpen, to build your profile, Loso versus Jims took place on, you know, Blackout 7. Loso's profile is obviously grown, his stock is rising, and I think it's kind of safe to say that Loso wouldn't be nearly as big if it weren't for the looks that John and Bullpen gave to him. Now, I'm not trying to be here like vouching for John to take people's pockets or whatever, however you want to look at the business side of things. I'm just looking at it as it is. You know, Loso's stock has risen since being put under the spotlight of Bullpen. And I feel like interestingly enough, this 20% um, uh, uh, partial credit that Bullpen is demanding from all its battlers in some way would serve as like a tool to keep battle rappers hungry to succeed and actually come to battles to battle and win, and not just come to battles charging 10, 15, 20,000, you know, per battle based off of what the weight that their name holds in the sport, but not actually performing up to their value. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like because they know that Bullpen is going to charge 20%, I'm not sure if it's like they're charging 20% of whatever you make. So you make 5,000 and Bullpen's going to take like a solid stack, or if they just said that the cap, like the limit is 250, like the max. I'm not entirely sure if that's like the benchmark, so to speak. But like, let's say Bullpen is only going to take 250 and a bad news gets booked on, I don't know, a don't flop card, a RBE card, a UW card, whatever the case, and he gets booked for like 5,500. If Bullpen's only taking $250, like, you could be mad, like, damn, you're taking my 250, but at the end of the day, bro, like, you built your profile to the point where you've earned the right to get to walk home with $5,250 after 250 is taken out. You're not gonna really be that upset about the 250. Like, you look at it as like taxes being taken out of your 9 to 5. You feel me? And that's a super low tax if you're only getting 250 taken out of a $5,000 plus check. But that's what I mean. Like, I feel like it would motivate people to come correct, because at the end of the day, you don't want to only continue to get booked for $1,250, you know, and walk away with a stack. You want to build your profile so that whether it's Bullpen or other leagues, they want to pay you more bread. They want to start. You want to get people that are offering, yeah, we're gonna pay you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. Okay, bet, let's do it. You know. Now I will say that if you're getting booked for 10 racks and you have to legit pay 20%, not just 250, but 20% of that 10 grand to Bullpen, that's heavy. I ain't gonna front. That's pretty heavy. You know, you walk away with what, 8 G's after the fact. That's pretty heavy. But at the end of the day, if you want to sign the contract, you sign the contract. You still get 8,000. You know, and at the end of the day, Bullpen, as of the league, gets to build off of the revenue that they generate. I feel like if battlers sign this contract and they just come into battles thinking like, oh, my name is hot, so I'm gonna get this 6,000 and, you know, that's that. I'm gonna get this 8,000, 15,000 and that's that. I'm just gonna spit these little bullshit rounds, you know, and I'm gonna collect my check. Well, you could do that for this battle, but you're not gonna be able to do that for the next battle, because I bet bread, if you battle for 15 grand and you perform straight ass, like it's clear as day that you don't care about the shit, you only went there to collect a check, your next check's going to be dropped from 15 to 10. And then, of course, you're going to walk away with less bread because Bullpen's going to take X amount of dollars from you. So I feel like it's just going to, it on some level serves as like a motivating factor. Like, you know that you're going to get more bread, but you're still not getting the full cut. So you want to get the maximum amount of bread you can possibly charge. So you can't just rely on your name anymore. Now it's like, I have to come correct. It's the saying that you're only as good as your last battle. With this type of percentage, you know, tax or whatever, I feel like that really does make people live up to you're only as good as your last battle, because they know, shit, if my last battle's trash, my next check gonna be kind of salty. I just think of it like that. It's also kind of like boxing management in a sense, you know. People are saying like, oh, it's a 360 label kind of thing to an extent. But like I said, for when it comes to the actual battles, it's pretty much just like boxing management, you know. You could say Bullpen's just a league, but you can also say that in some ways John could be some of these battlers' manager in a way. And when it comes to boxing, like, people be like, yo, Floyd Mayweather got 180,000, or not 180,000, 180 million to battle Manny Pacquiao, da-da-da-da, he's caking crazy. You think he walked away with that full 180? Hell no, dog. Floyd, you have to give your trainer guaranteed minimum 10%. Now, when you doing, you know, 180 million, your trainer could be very happy with 10%, but, you know, you don't know. Some trainers might negotiate to get 12, 13, 14, 15%. You don't know. Then on top of that, you have to pay like the promoter might get a cut. You might have like an actual manager who gets a cut. Shit, you might have a lawyer that gets a cut. Then you got taxes taken out. So you think he's walking away with 180 mil? No, he's not. He's walking away with, after all that shit, 120, something like that, 130, maybe 140. That's still mad bread, but at the end of the day, you're not getting the full purse. So it's kind of similar to boxing. Oh, you have to pay a cut man. Like, there's a lot of things you have to do if you have a strength and conditioning coach. There's a lot of things you have to do. So it's kind of like a boxing management in a sense where you just don't get your entire purse. You still get to walk away with some nice change, but not your whole purse. For a bullpen, like, I know John, I think he said it was like an interview, or he just, I think it was an interview or some shit. I don't know. But he was saying how, you know, bullpen, like when he first started, I don't know about now if they got like some sponsors, you know, really behind the shit. But he was coming out of pocket for, you know, battles that were taking place. I remember personally working the One Killers battle we had at Vlad TV, how hard it is to actually generate profit off of your events, especially if you're a new league coming up. People aren't going to just, oh, just because you're John or you're Vlad TV or you're Hot 97, whatever, people aren't just going to flock to your event because of who you are. Like, they might be a little bit tentative, not want to spend the bread. They might want to see how the first one goes and go to the second one. So, in a lot of new leagues, at the end of the day, they come out and they take a hit, a financial hit on maybe their first, maybe their second, maybe their third, fourth, and fifth battle event that they host. You know, it's actually pretty hard to generate profit if you don't have a guarantee that your sales, especially at the door, are going to be astronomical. You know, if you can implement a pay-per-view, that would be fire too. But as a new league, who's really going to pay for a pay-per-view to watch a new league battle event? Like, nah, it's not happening, not the first time. So for John, I mean, business-wise, he's just probably trying to ensure that, yo, I'm going to shell out this money to build you guys. Also, of course, he's looking to make his profits, but he's also looking to ensure that, yo, no matter what, I'm getting some type of money back. I'm generating some type of paper that could also help the league stay afloat, just in case, because we don't know. Let's say Bullpen, every single event they've hosted or they've had, they've taken a hit every single event. You know, these types of contract deals where they get a small percent or a significant percentage of the battlers' checks, it could help to make sure that that league maintains. You know, if they reach a point where they're making nothing but profit, cool. You know, maybe John and them could drop the percentage from 20 to 10, who knows? But at the end of the day, it is kind of a smart business move as the business owner to implement something like this. As the battler, you can have every right to, you know, reject, decline, whatever, not agree to the terms. Perfectly fine. You could also try to negotiate it. Who knows? Maybe those contracts are issued to Bad News, to Loso, to PC, Riggs, etc., Sheehims, all those dudes. And they said, you know what, we'll fuck with it, but you got to drop this, and this. Or you got to modify this. I mean, contracts are presented, but they're usually, often, always open to negotiation. So you don't know what other people were able to negotiate out of that. If they all just said, hey, I'm going to sign this 20%, hey, that's their decision. It was kind of surprising to see this video go up and just like the actual business be posted. You know, a lot of people just said the same thing on YouTube, that didn't necessarily need to go down. Where you don't have to expose someone's business. Tell you right now, there's a lot of stuff I could say about Vlad TV being on the business, being inside the business, that I could, you know, drop dimes about, but I'm not gonna do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep that business, close doors. You know, if you don't fuck with it, you don't fuck with it. If a person wants to confide in you for, you know, advice about a certain specific situation, sure, that's a private matter. That type of thing doesn't necessarily need to hit, you know, cyberspace, because cyberspace, that means it's everywhere now. And one thing that was, you know, I hope doesn't happen is, let's say John has ego and pride and whatever, and he's like, all right, you telling me not to come to the DMV and host an event that's exactly what I'm gonna do, you know. And then from that, I'm just hoping that Jakkboy doesn't try to roll up with some people, because he was talking kind of crazy. I ain't gonna front. He was talking pretty hot at some points. I know towards the end he was saying that, you know, no one's gonna show up. No one's gonna show up in terms of just you having an empty venue, because he's gonna tell everyone not to go and support. But let's say people do go and show up, and then he rolls up with a crew. I would just hope that if John does ever have a bullpen battle event in the DMV, that Jakkboy doesn't do something crazy, because anyone who posts videos and like the one that he posted, you have to remember what era we live in. We live in the era where somebody's always watching every and anything that you do. We could be chilling in our crib, no cell phones, no laptops, no tablets, no TV, no video game systems turned on, and we think we're good, but low-key, we don't even know there's a hacker that could just hack into our TV and through the TV see us, you know what I'm saying? Or through our phone camera, just like people were doing, you macking with your chick, and next thing you know, you don't even know you have a hidden sex tape that just got made, you feel me? Like, and if you're gonna talk crazy, you know, don't come to the reckless like that. If the dude comes to your spot and you decide that, you coming to my spot, you trying to press up, so I'm going to show you what's up, and I'm going to show up to where you at, and then we going to get it shaking, especially if the shit goes extra left. Like, what do you think's going to happen to you? You feel me? That's an easy way to get, you know, Akon voice locked up. Like, I remember I was working at Vlad, and there was a story. It was crazy. Some like Colombian drug lord or some shit. He got bagged up because he was posting all these Instagram pictures of all his yachts and his mansions and his helicopters and his Ferraris and shit that he was buying. Fucking $2 million pieces of jewelry and shit. Dude just had dumb guap. And he got bagged up because he just pretty much snitched on himself, putting up his business for the world to see. If you really feel some type of way about some shit, and especially if you have intention to do something, don't post a video that's just clear evidence to pin you at, you know, red-handed. Like, that was, I just felt like that was pretty hot boy. Like, bros, if you really want to get at somebody, you can't post a hot vid like that. You know, maybe he wants to get a battle out of it. If he wants to get a battle out of it, then wavy. I would actually like to see Jakkboy Maine versus John. A lot of people in the comments on that footage was talking about SM6. I'm with it. John might want to do that on Bullpen though. I don't know, but I'm with it to see it, you know. But if the intention to actually pop off was there, it's reckless to post that video first. Just keeping it official. I will say there were some things in that contract, the paperwork that I was reading, and I was just like, you know, hey, at the end of the day, business is business. There are some things that if I was presented that contract, I would want to tweak and negotiate. If it's like, this is cemented, this is what it is, or nothing at all, you'd have a big decision to make. But, you know, that's for each individual to decide for themselves. It doesn't, what one person says doesn't have to stand for what everyone else wants to do with their life, you know. Some people would be content with being given that shot and doing time, the 2 years or whatever, on Bullpen, and then branching out to something else officially, you know. I'd also said that there was like I guess you could say an escape clause, so to speak, where it's like if for 4 months your radio's silent, you're not getting booked for shit, or you're just turning down everything we try to book for you, then either party has, I think that says something along the lines of either party can then, you know, terminate the contractual agreement. So if you really don't want to do the full 2, I guess just turn down every single battle that John and them offered you for 4 months, and then you could be free of the chains. Now, will they collect, you know, that percentage going forward even after the contract's broken? I think it did say something about that where they can still collect. If that's the case, like I said, that's for the battler to do proper business for himself and to negotiate. If you're not with that, if you're with it, then rock out, you know what I'm saying? It was pretty funny to me. It isn't no shots, I'm just talking, because that whole video was pretty crazy. But it was funny when Jakkboy was, he was amped in the like early parts. He was kind of tight. And, and he's like, he called people like, yo, I dare y'all to pull up. I dare you to come pull up. And out of no disrespect, but out of everybody on the bullpen roster, you like Loso pussy ass, a bitch ass, Loso come pull up. Like, what? Hey, that was just, to me, that was mad funny, because I'm just like, Loso's a Christian, dog. Now, I'm not gonna say like a dude that, you know, is a devoted Christian, not even just rapper, just devoted to the Christian faith in general, is going to not put their hands up if someone comes at them. Some people still got that primal instinct and they'll get it shaken. But being that he's a Christian, you kind of know that he's like not gonna be that dude to really engage you like that. If you try to press up, he'll, for the most part, you would imagine he would try to, you know, go with that namaste, you know, peace be with you type shit. So it's just like, out of all people, and I saw a dude in the comments, he commented like, out of all people, you say Loso, you don't say bad news, but Loso. That was pretty funny. At the end of the day though, man, it is what it is. Like I said, Jakkboy has his right to feel his type of way, but also battlers presented with that contract or something similar have the right to, you know, make their own decisions for themselves based on what they want to do, not based on what they might see on YouTube. Me saying, what Jakkboy saying, what John saying, with anyone, you have your own right to decide. For the future though, when it comes to battle rap, man, I don't really want to see anything turn into beef, you know. Nobody wants to see that. I mean, it's entertainment, but at the end of the day, if shit gets real, you know what I'm saying, where it's one of those game changers where battle rap gets shut down, nobody could book a venue, it's back to, you know, battling in Central Park and shit like that, or, you know, it gets real and, you know, that real negative way where people no longer on this earth type shit, nobody wants to see that. So I feel like in battle rap, man, this is the platform where when you got beef, you should automatically settle it in the lyrical ring. Straight like that. Like, I've said that for mainstream hip-hop, like when dudes want to beef in mainstream hip-hop, like, all right, 50 Cent want to beef with this dude, 50, step in the battle rap ring, bro. Shorties, Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj want to be wilding out back and forth. Step in the battle ring, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the place where that type of beef shit can easily be settled with lyricism, because that is what y'all do. Why take it to the streets and potentially fuck around and end someone's life? Like, why? You know, this is an easy outlet to settle a score. When you have a problem with someone, bro, we gonna battle. We could take it back to the 80s in a sense, where crews had, you know, issues, and instead of fighting, they'll, you know, meet up and do a little breakdancing, you know, battle. You know, shit like that. You know, instead of battling with actual violence in the street, dudes could just be graffiti crews and just battling with their art. Like, you do different shit to settle shit. People could be like, oh, you mad corny for that, whatever. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to keep things more in a positive light. If dudes really feel some type of way, I issue this to anybody. If you ever really feel some type of way, man, instead of taking it to the streets, I'm a boxer. If you from New York, obviously that's easier to do. Holla at me, come into the gym, we got gloves for you. If you're not from New York, find a gym, get some gloves, handle that business. But don't take it to the next level, because it's not necessary to go that far.